the Ring Fanatics Podcast, episode number 30. Today, just myself. Obviously, I got two other guests with me. Joel couldn't make it in today. It's a very special episode. Like I said, I got two guests today, not just one. Both of these guys are returning guests to the Ring Fanatics Podcast. The first one, he was a recent guest on our podcast. He helped us out with the Elimination Chamber predictions. He is the host of Rewind Recap Relive. Jonah, what's going on, man?
What's going on? I'm very happy to be back here. Sad that Joel could make it, but still just as fun here with Anthony and yourself. And yeah, let's get to a WrestleMania big fight feel, right?
Exactly.
I'm excited.
Big fight here. Exactly. And the other guest, third time on the show. He is the host.
Three times, baby.
Exactly. The host of the
Beats
Titantron
me.
podcast, Anthony Cerulli. What's going on, man? How you been?
Hyped to be back. Like I just mentioned, three-time guest.
Three-time
I'm going
guest.
for
What's up?
5. I'm going for more, but for
Five
5
time.
for now. So five time. But I'm happy to be here. You know, we're talking all about WrestleMania. Glad to be back with Jonah. This is our second collaboration, but you know, third here. I'm looking forward to talking about this. So let's get right into it, boys.
Exactly. Like you said,
Definitely.
today is WrestleMania predictions episode, specifically night one only today. For the Ring Fanatics podcast, we're only doing predictions for night one. As always, I have the card right in front of me. I'll go down the list. We give our thoughts, predictions on what might happen during that match, so on and so forth. So as I have the list here, one of the matches that I see here actually got announced last night. It is a tag team gauntlet match. It's between Naomi and Lana, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, the Riot Squad, and Natalia and Tamina. I think Billy Kay is in it, is what I've heard, and Carmella, I believe her tag team partner.
Yeah, they mentioned something about them.
Are they really? They're tag. Wow. Okay.
Kind of like a makeshift tag team.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
It's like not like a full-on tag team like the rest
Yeah.
of them, but like it's like a kind of partnership. They're
I feel
having
like
on.
when we look at who's been women's tag team champions, aren't they all like makeshift teams that just
Yeah.
become
Yeah,
good? Yeah.
I mean, kind of. Yeah. You had the Kabuki Warriors. Then
Well,
Alexa
Yeah.
Bliss and Nikki Cross. Like, where do they come up
Nia
from?
Jackson, Shayna Baszler,
Yeah.
Charlotte and Asuka. I mean, yeah.
I mean, they
Mhm.
kind of just like
Did they win it?
Yeah,
I
they
think
won
did,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They
For a
won
little
it,
bit, yeah.
For a
I mean,
little
most
bit,
of these guys, most of these teams are like they had to at least make up tag teams for anyways because they didn't really have anything to begin with.
Exactly.
So
Right.
they kind of are makeshift. But these are, I mean, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke kinda, and the Riot Squad have been a team for a while now.
Yeah, they're real teams. I'd say.
Yeah. So I mean, Tamina and Natalia, I'm not mad about. I mean, this is a team that at first I was like, okay, this is probably not going anywhere. But then as time went on, it's like, okay, this kind of makes sense based off like, you know, both of them are second generation superstars. And what we've seen recently on SmackDown with them. So for you guys, any one of you can go first with this. Who do you have winning this gauntlet match? Because the winner will receive a women's tag team championship match the following night on night 2. Who do you see getting this opportunity the next night?
Why don't you take it first, Anthony?
I'll take it. This is the match that, you know, it's a match. Like it's a pretty good. I feel like, you know, ever since they started with the women's like tag team division, this is definitely the strongest that it's been, even with, you know, we mentioned like the makeshift tag teams and stuff, but they've done their fair share in building them up. Mandy and Dana have been, you know, pretty decent of a team. The Riot Squad, we know, you know, they've been there since the start of the division. Lana and Naomi are pretty decent, and Natty and Tamina are an interesting team. I don't like them like as individuals, so maybe putting them together would be, you know, it's something their second generation. But I feel like I would care much more about this match if, one, they had announced it a little bit earlier, but two, if they had done their part in actually building up these tag teams, which for the most part, I feel like it goes more than just putting them on Raw and SmackDown. But these teams have been losing a lot. And as far as I'm aware, all 4 of these teams involved have all lost to Nia and Shayna. So to give them another shot at the go and just put them up all against each other is like they're fighting for second place already. So I don't know if I'm feeling this much into the match. However, I did come up with a prediction for this one, and we're getting right into fantasy booking because
Let's do here. This is what we're all about, man.
I'm ready for this one. I don't know why I'm fantasy booking for the women's tag team match, but fuck it. So basically, we mentioned Billy Kay might be involved in this match with Carmella. So I feel like they're going to do something where Reginald gets involved. And this seems like like how I would book it is that this has been the plot all along. So we know that Reginald's been with Nia and Shayna. He left Carmella and now he's with them. He kind of did some stuff with Sasha and Bianca, but who cares? He's now with Nia and Shayna. So we saw on Friday, I don't know if you guys saw, but Carmella was watching. They were doing like a women's tag team segment. Carmella was kind of watching, and then Billie Kay comes up, tries to give her the resume. She kind of shoos her off, but then she's like, wait a second, give me that. And then she like reads it and she kind of like nods to her. So, that is giving me the idea that they're going to be a tag team. They're just not announced yet. And they're going to announce at WrestleMania that they're going to be like a 5th tag team. Maybe they add a 6th, who knows? So they're definitely going to be a team. I see that they're going to win on night 1. With shenanigans, probably Billie Kay will roll up like the Riot Squad or something to continue that feud. And then we go into night 2. And I know we're kind of crossing over to night 2 already, but for night 2, we'll have Billie and Carmella versus the tag champs. And I think Reginald will somehow swerve Nia and Shayna, maybe do like one of those hairspray in the eyes type of thing, like the spray in the eyes, to distract either Shayna or probably Nia. Carmella will hit her finisher, and Billie and Carmella will be your new tag team champions with Reginald. It was a whole plan the whole time to get, kind of like working from the in out. Reginald joins them, kind of gets their feel, and now screws them over so that the ultimate plan with Carmella being with Reginald and Billie Kay is kind of just there. But now we have that fun dynamic between Carmella and Billie, and we'll build them up for a little bit as a new tag team in the division. Again, this is a whole big plan. I don't know if they would go about doing this, but I kind of thought of it this morning. I was like, what if there's more to this Reginald than just, being here? Because he's kind of just right here for now. If we give him more of a character and more of a direction, then I feel like this could make the tag team title picture in the women's division a little more interesting.
And I was thinking about it too. Like, I love how, like, with this past SmackDown, how we saw, like you said, Billie Kay kind of hand over her resume to Carmella, and it makes perfect sense. Like, it's kind of one of those, if you think about it, it's kind of like long-term storytelling in a way, where it's ever since this resume thing has started with Billie Kay, no one has taken a resume. Now we've seen Carmella just take this resume, and now it's being used for good reason, and that's to get those tag team titles. Maybe that's the reason why, like you said, maybe Reginald wants to come back, but then they also now have Billie Kay to join her. So now it's an extra person behind her. Even though they'll be a tag team, it'll mainly be like a I guess you could say they're kind of like a Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez a little bit. They're both really singles competitors going after singles gold, but they're a duo in which they can also go for the tag belts.
And I think it works for Carmella because her character is kind of like she's focused on being the best. So it doesn't really matter what championship she's going after. She just wants a title around her waist. And you have that dynamic of Carmella, being the champ and everything. And she's kind of at the spotlight, but Billie Kay's in the background like, hello, I'm right here. So, it kind of gives her like, maybe an edge. So maybe Carmella wins the world title and then Billie Kay goes after her because I really want to see Billie Kay at just the top of the women's division. That's selfish there. But, I think, they could definitely go somewhere with Carmella and Billie Kay as this oddball duo.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Jonah? Who do you got winning this?
Yeah, so I love all that fantasy booking. I think it's a good idea, but I'm going to go the other way. First of all, I love the idea of this match in general, taking advantage of the 2 nights. I feel like this would have been cool last year too, but it obviously was really haphazard. It was last minute. But this year, I like them taking advantage. I feel like a couple of things could be made cool with like winning a title shot night 1 and getting a night 2. I personally am a huge Riot Squad fan and think that they've been just constantly overlooked, and they're just such a consistent team all this time. Of course, they broke up, they got back together, but like there is long-term storytelling within the Riot Squad that I think could pay off with a big win at WrestleMania. Both nights they do that, and then they win night 2 the championships. But yeah, Billie Kay, I mean, she's been, so many people like Billie Kay, she's everywhere, right? And I guess since the Iconic split, she's been the one that people have really sided with more, I think, that I've seen. She's like I've heard a lot of people compare her to like Santino, she's like our comic relief now, and she's just this lovable character that really isn't getting her shot. So seeing her win, and that would also be her second title win at Mania, her tag team title win at Mania, so that would be kind of cool. But I'm going to go with Riot Squad. honestly. I think I don't know. I just see that working out better. I love Reginald though. Reginald's whole angle right now with Nia and Shayna is hilarious. I don't know if I see him pulling the swerve that Anthony talked about, but I guess we'll see. I do see Nia and Shayna losing the belts at Mania though, to whichever team picks up this win in the turmoil. And my bet's on Riot Squad.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like I the only reason why I would say Riot Squad is because they've been the A team the longest. Like they've,
Right.
like you said, like they've been there since the start of the tag team title division, pretty much. So, but the thing is, to me, I personally want Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke because I feel like they're a team that's been like recently new, not as long as the Riot Squad has been a thing, but they've been solid in terms of, you know, athleticism, working well together, and being this new team that's, as you've seen, consistently being like taking the loss after loss to the same people. And it's like, okay, they've never technically got a title shot yet, from what I can remember. So it's like, okay, might as well give them a shot and build them up a little bit.
Well, I mean, I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to say before I forget, I like Mandy Rose a lot. I think they've been building her up over time, and I think she is due, whether it be a tag team title shot or singles. Mandy Rose is slowly working her way there, and I think she's almost there. Dana Brooke has been around, if I'm correct, longer than Mandy Rose, I think, and really still, I don't think has crafted like that character that makes me want to get behind her for like a title win. Though that's my thoughts on them winning. I'm behind Mandy 100%, especially with the Otis thing. Like she's definitely had her moments. Like she's there in my eyes in like the women's division, really good. Dana Brooke is still kind of working her way and has been there longer too. So I don't know what that says, but.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to agree with you on the Dana Brooke point that they haven't built up her character. But I'm actually a pretty big fan of Dana Brooke. And I think she's one of the more underrated women that we have on the roster. I use that term very loosely, but you know, underrated for sure. That people don't really know a lot about her talent, especially on the mic. I don't know if you guys have ever seen her promo against Ronda Rousey when she kind of like stood up to her, but she was,
I remember that.
Yeah, she was really great on the mic. And I think, you know, it just goes as far as to giving them a chance to get on. And, you know, this goes into another conversation about them giving them a chance to get on the mic and stuff. But I think it just gives them, you know, you just need to give them the character and give them a run and see what they could do with it. And I think that this would have been a perfect opportunity for all 8 women and possibly 10 women involved in this match to really showcase what they have to offer. But making this so, you know, last minute as point one, but also point two, not building up these teams enough to really put them as credible challengers. As I mentioned, you know, I really want to see the Riot Squad win. And they have a story going into this that they've had, you know, forming again, going up against Nia and Shayna losing, but you know, being like the underdog, but they haven't tapped into that story as much as I thought that they would have. And Natty and Tamina have an entirely different story that they could be rolling with. And I feel like they haven't done enough for this match and for the women's division, tag team division, I should say, as a whole to really build up this match a little bit. But I do hope that they go, you know, I want to see Billie Kay, but I do also hope that they go in the route of maybe giving the title to like a Dana and Mandy. I love the two of them. I think that they're great talents, but I don't know. We're just going to have to see on that one.
Yeah, I think I think the I guess you say the theme of the tag team championships has been like, okay, 2 random teams that just recently put together and give them the championships. Like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler when they won it the first time, but just they recently became a thing. And the same thing with Charlotte and Asuka. They just randomly 2 people put together and made as a team. So I think that's what they're going with this. Like Billie Kay and Carmella haven't had one single tag team match yet, and I'm pretty sure, like, as much as I want Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke to win, Carmella and Billie Kay may be the favorites to win because everyone loves Billie Kay. Why not? So
and they did put a lot of work into Carmella, definitely.
Yes,
I think I don't think her payoff is done quite yet. You know, after that Sasha thing, I think she still has a long way to rock this new persona. So you could be right. Yeah, I think I'm sticking with Riot Squad, but you're right. A convincing case, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Same. I'm sticking with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke here. And then you
picks all around.
Who did we not pick? I'm looking at the card myself.
Lana and Naomi.
Lana and Naomi. Okay.
That actually, I never even thought of Lana and Naomi because Lana's had this whole story with Nia and Shayna, but I feel like adding in Naomi kind of watered that down a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like she had to be like the underdog in this whole story, and it would have made sense for more of like a singles match between Nia and Lana, if anything. But now you add in Naomi and Shayna, and I guess Shayna's involved, but not really Naomi. They kind of ruined that storyline for her. I guess the payoff was Survivor Series after all, but
maybe, yeah. So that's one match out of the way. Next match I see on this card, also not it wasn't announced last night. It was kind of a add-on. It is another tag team match: Miz and Morrison versus Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. See, this is an interesting one, as we've seen the past couple of weeks. Who are your favorites here to win this? Do you see Bad Bunny doing some cool moves in the ring, getting the win for his team?
Well, I want to take this one first because I'm huge on Damian Priest, and if this is how he's getting his Mania moment, like let it be, it's his first one. I'd just like to see him on the card in a featured match like this match. He's also representing NYC. I don't know if you guys ever went to any of those indie shows when he was on as Punishment Martinez? But
Punishment Martinez.
I've always been a big fan of Damian Priest, so I think he was my favorite in NXT for a while. So seeing him there, that's got me invested alone. Bad Bunny, didn't really know. I mean, I knew about him before this, but now that I see him here, I guess he's good. He's rocking, rolling in WWE pretty well. I've been seeing the build that they're doing. He's convincing. It's not cringy or anything. Like Bad Bunny's doing his job. Miz and Morrison, they're being Miz and Morrison. I see Priest and Bad Bunny taking it home. I do actually see it being like a good match. Really, to me, like the diamond like in the rough for this match is to see Priest and Morrison go at it in the ring. I think that could be a really cool matchup, and adding Bad Bunny isn't bad at all. I'm also excited for the entrance. I'm sure we're going to get some really cool stuff for that. So all around it's a fun match, and I'm really looking forward. I thought the build has been pretty consistent. This is like pretty long term for a WrestleMania match. It goes all the way back to, was it Rumble when it started?
Yeah.
Or a little bit before.
Yeah.
Rumble. Yeah. So I like it. It's going to be a fun match, I think.
Like his promo this past Monday was incredible. Like I honestly thought it was a really good promo.
It was.
That was like a great, like I guess you could say not send off, but like kind of last minute statement for the match. And
he's doing really well. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had that confrontation before that where Miz attacked Bad Bunny, ruined his car, kind of leaving him a message.
Great segment. That was a really great segment.
I like that segment.
I bet the car is worth more now, by the way. With all that stuff on it. You think so?
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
I say Priest and Bunny though, in case I didn't say my guess. They're definitely taking it home.
Oh, yeah.
No way they lose.
They're definitely. I see it's definitely Bad Bunny taking the win here for his team.
Yeah.
Where like, maybe Damian Priest does his finisher, Bad Bunny does like something off the top rope.
Splash.
That's the only way. Yeah, that's the only way I see it happening. Kind of basing it off of like what he did at the Rumble. He jumped on the Miz Morrison. It's kind of how they're doing it, to win the match. Maybe he does like a frog splash, or calling it the bunny splash instead of the frog splash kind of thing, or the bunny hop. I don't know.
The bunny hop would be great.
Yeah, and then that's probably how the match is going to end, and then maybe fireworks, whatever. I don't know, but they're probably going to make it like really dramatic for Bad Bunny, not in a bad way, but like to kind of be like, oh, thank you for coming on. Here, fireworks, a win, whatever. So that's how I feel like it's going to send off. What about you, Anthony?
No, I mean, I'm like Jonas said, this is going to be a really fun match, and it has a potential to be a pretty good one. I'm also very happy that they ended up adding Priest and Morrison. I was a little nervous that they were going to keep them out and just do the one-on-one, but I think that was kind of just like a safety measure. They were kind of waiting to see if Priest and Morrison, because I know Morrison was going through an injury, but I guess they're going to be fine for Mania, or they'll have like limited involvement. But either way, I'm definitely looking forward to it. We always get one of these matches, like ever since the first Mania, Mr. T, that you have those type of match. I think the most recent version of this would be like the Ronda Rousey match, which was a great match, probably the best match on that card.
A really good match.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna see this pulling out to be the best match on the card, but it'll definitely be solid.
It'll be up there.
I think this will it's a good way to showcase Damian Priest. Where do they go from here on Priest? Who knows? Maybe they like put him in the mid card. I'll be fine with give him a title. But I think this was the perfect way to really build up both Damian Priest, get Bad Bunny on the show, but also have the Miz and Morrison doing something. Because if anyone's going to go against a celebrity at this point, it was going to be Miz and Morrison. I think they're just like the ideal bad guys to go up against. And the feud has been one of the better consistently booked stories across these last few weeks. And I think last night on Raw definitely showcased that with them ruining his car, which was apparently his car. Like it was actually his car. And there was like a CNN report that was like, music artist Bad Bunny bought a Ferrari and he doesn't know what to do with it. So he just gave it to the. So I mean, he's not only given himself in the ring, but he's also given millions of dollars for a car to the WWE. So I guess you could say he's pretty devoted to this role.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, like Nick, like you said, I think we're gonna get like the typical like Damian Priest will do the hit the lights move kind of crossroads thing that he does, and then Bad Bunny will do like Eddie Guerrero frog splash. I expect him to pay homage because he keeps mentioning the type of the older guys, that the legends that he's like. So I expect him to pull out a few moves. Maybe he'll do like a rock bottom or like I just mentioned, like the frog splash. I'm excited to see what he could do in the ring. I do wish that we would have I mentioned like the Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. I wish we would have gotten like those promo segments of like, Damian Priest kind of training Bad Bunny a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because this is like a comedy feud in itself, you might as well just go all in on it. But nevertheless, I like that they are treating this like a serious match, and Bad Bunny's going all in, and he's been cutting great promos. And that car segment was really great. Overall, I think, we'll obviously get Bad Bunny taking the win. And I think this is the perfect way to include a celebrity on your wrestling program. So I'm looking forward to seeing Damian Priest, John Morrison, Bad Bunny, and I guess The Miz.
Yeah, I heard Bad Bunny has been training hard though in the Performance Center. So like I heard so
I'm sure he is. He's not like one of those celebrities that are just going to come in for a paycheck. He's proven himself that he's going to go in there and get in the ring. So
so I'm excited to see what he'll do. I'm excited to see how like what his moveset will be.
Yeah,
what he'll do in general. Like the thing I'm looking forward to for this match is the hot tag. There's definitely going to be some type of hot tag.
Yes.
Where Priest tags in, and they're going to be like, oh, now we get to see Bad Bunny in the ring.
Right.
You guys, the Miz, they stare off, whatever. The crowd goes wild. Then all of a sudden, because it is now back with the crowd. This many, I forgot to mention that.
Yes.
So it's definitely going to be cool to see how the crowd is going to react to this, especially being the first event back with a crowd in a little bit over a year. So
I'm looking forward to most. I think out of everything.
Yeah. The fans are going to be the best moment of the card. The fans. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the whole confrontation, what we've been waiting for with the celebrity and our current wrestler. So I can't wait to see what the whole crowd thinks of it in general, because it's definitely going to be one of the, I think, in my opinion, the loudest pop of the night is when we see.
And I think they usually like fans will usually like boo stuff like that. But I think they built up Bad Bunny enough that they're not going to have to worry about that.
Exactly.
I think that he's definitely taking his role serious enough that the fans are going to get behind him. And the Miz will do the Miz stuff and he'll get booed. So
he's probably going to mock the crowd at some point.
Yeah.
Probably. Heelish way. Next match on the card, in WWE's terms, I'm going to use, it's kind of stupid. It is Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match. Because, Braun Strowman's quote unquote stupid according to Shane McMahon. So it's a steel cage match. Different. Was not expecting at all to be a steel cage. Kind of random, in my opinion.
Thank God it has a stipulation.
Right? Yeah.
Like that's.
It's better off with the stipulation, because I think McMahon is kind of like great at those. He had a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Falls Count Anywhere match.
McMahon, yeah.
He's going to obviously put his body on the line. Who do you think is going to come out on top of this match? Anybody can go first on this.
If I could steal a quote from Randy on Backstage Brawl, ain't nobody care. Ain't nobody care about this match. I will say that the whole steel cage stipulation definitely adds some interest to it. But like, come on. Like, is this the best thing that we could do to fill a spot on WrestleMania?
In my opinion, I think it's like, I've seen this all over Twitter. I think I've spoken to you, Anthony, about it. Like, this whole card makes up for all the storylines. Like, you could just forget the storylines, and I think the match itself is going to be great.
No, yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm not.
I think the match will be good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit of a stretch to say it'll be great, just because we have seen great Shane McMahon matches at Mania
Oh
before.
yeah.
But then again, you have to remember we've seen those against great wrestlers. Like his best match, AJ Styles. It's AJ Styles. You know, he went up against The Undertaker. Even though he's old, it's The Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know, we've The Miz. The Miz was a great worker. You know,
Yeah,
so
it
we've
was.
seen matches that he's been involved in that have been really good matches. Then again, I think they put him up against a great worker to kind of hide the fact that he gives those little bunny punches all the time, and he's not really like the greatest of workers. To give him the steel cage stipulation is smart, because then that definitely means that we're going to get a spot with Shane falling off the cage. And I saw somewhere that someone predicted that they're going to do like that
I think I
when
know.
Braun went against Kevin Owens in the steel cage match, and Braun like choke slammed Kevin off the cage into the announce table, but Kevin Owens won the match because, you know, he's out of the ring. And I think,
Oh yeah, go. Sorry.
oh no, go for it. I want to hear.
I was gonna say, imagine we get a Big Show JBL barbed wire cage spot. You remember that one where he chokeslammed him through the ring and his feet touched the floor still? That's what I was thinking.
That actually
that
would.
table one is,
Or
I
maybe
feel
like
that's like Mania worthy.
like
It was the
a.
table. But
I think it was Braun Strowman. I think it was Bobby Lashley when he went up against Umaga, where he went through the cage. Like literally
Yeah,
knocked
they could
the
go that
cage
route
over.
too.
Then like McMahon puts his feet on the floor first before before Strowman. So where like kind of the whole storyline is like after that is based off of like, oh, you're stupid for knocking me out first kind of thing.
Yeah, I think
continues it.
whatever way they're going with it, it's going to be one of those like I smarted you out kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction is that Shane McMahon wins the official match. You know, however it may be, get him, you know, through the ring, outside the ring, however. But he'll go out of the steel cage. But regardless of how it happens, I think Shane will win, and then Braun's just going to beat the crap out of him afterwards and give him like, you know, like 5 power slams or whatever. You know, just for that, you know, feel good moment. However you could do that. But you know, I'm not really looking forward to the match. It's one of the least forward to matches I'm looking forward to, but it'll be a decent one. You know, hopefully it won't go too long, and we'll just get the spot out of the way, and then Braun could just beat the crap out of Shane McMahon, which we all love to see all the time. But Brain versus Braun is going to be the. I'm surprised they haven't been taglining that a lot more than just like mentioning it. Like, you know, they should call that like the Brain versus Braun match. But that's going to play into the finish for sure.
Yeah, I guess I understand it's an unpopular opinion. I can't say I'm like looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to seeing Shane hit that spot. That's like my main thing for that match. I'm not huge on Strowman. I don't think I ever have been, but I will say I loved the destructive Strowman we got when it was Strowman and Reigns like a few years back.
Yes.
And
100%.
I wanted to see a Falls Count Anywhere, and I get that Shane just did that with Miz, right? That was their match. The stipulation was Falls Count Anywhere. So, like, I understand, but I think it could have been so cool because, like, Shane will do like anything. You've seen him like in the ambulance match against Kane or the famous match with Kurt Angle. Like, he'll destroy himself. So seeing him and Braun like just go all around would have been so cool. But we get the steel cage, so they're in one spot. I feel like we're going to get a massive spot though, nonetheless. Shane always pulls that off, and like you said, Braun and Shane, it's not like Styles, it's not like Owens, it's not like any of Shane's other matches. So we got to see how it goes. But I think it's gonna go pretty quick. I'm thinking probably like 10 minutes, something like that, and we just get the spot. And I think Shane picks up the victory. Yeah,
I could definitely see him doing like some, like you said, a big move where even though they have basically only the ring to go, and nowhere else, I feel like he's gonna be like he's probably gonna do something where he's definitely gonna do a coast to coast to Braun Strowman.
Yeah,
probably,
now that I
definitely see him doing it from like on top of the cage, the corner of the cage, instead of the ring post.
Yeah,
and he does it from
really
there.
Cool.
If he pulls that off, oh my god!
I just wish the build was better because honestly, when it was Shane and Strowman, like it caught my attention. You know, it wasn't, and then it's as the build went on, it got such negative, you know, views towards it, and I see why, because I mean the build was like hopscotch and like
the slime, the hopscotch, just having Elias in general ruined it, like just all this different stuff.
I feel bad they just stick Elias in these storylines that have nothing to do with them, just like in the middle, but
exactly.
And like the hurt leg, like all that stuff kind of like ruined the hype because I'm excited when I see a Shane match generally. We saw a bit too much of him, I think, when he was doing the best in the world heel, you know, stable of mid-carders, all that.
Yeah.
But any end result, I think he's going to win. Now that what I was going to say is, now I think about it, he beat Miz that way in like more of like Miz suplexed him off and he just was able to put his arm over him. So yeah, I see it. I see Shane picking up that victory over Strowman.
Me too. Definitely, like I said, due to some type of like in a way where Strowman's like, it makes Strowman look stupid kind of thing.
Right. Yeah,
to continue that way. Because I don't see this thing. It's definitely going to continue on for a bit after, in my opinion. Because unless they do something where they have Strowman win, then he probably is the next challenger for the WWE Championship. But
no, I hope not.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? It's unpredictable over there, but it's like I think it's going to be something, like I said, something where like Shane just beats him because of Strowman's accidental loss type thing.
What would be really good is that depending on how the stage is built, if they like finish up the match like Shane does the like the brain finish, whatever, and then Braun fights him all the way up to the stage, and then there's a pirate ship because it's the whole pirate themed. If we could get Shane to fall off of that pirate ship, shit, like I'll be okay with everything else they do in that match. If we could get Shane McMahon falling off of that pirate ship.
He should make him walk the plank is what would happen. He'd put him on that thing and just shove him off the side.
Someone's got to, like, we've said this like from last year, like someone has to jump off a pirate ship.
I think Owens said he wanted to. Yeah.
I think it would be. I think he's
gonna fall off it onto Logan Paul or something like.
Oh my God. Logan Paul's gonna catch him. Like,
but that's for night 2.
Yeah, that's for night 2.
We can't get to that.
Yeah. But yeah, if anything, I don't see that. I definitely see that happening, but I don't think it would be Strowman and McMahon. Maybe if it happens after the match, I see it, but not like I don't know. I don't see it happening other than Owens.
Yeah.
I think it's meant for him to do it now since he's claimed he wanted to do it. But yeah, I guess we can move on to the next match. So we all got predictions for that match. This next one is another tag team match. A lot of tag team matches on this card already. We're on to the 4th match. The New Day will defend their Raw Tag Team Championships against AJ Styles and his partner and debuting Omos. What are you guys expecting from his debut, the big man Omos?
I'll hop on this one. Let's see. Omos is he's I mean, I like him. I like that they finally, I guess, found a spot for him. I've never really had a problem with Omos, but we haven't really seen him do much. He's very intimidating, and I think he's been training hard from what I've heard. Like, I think it was 4 months ago, Vince told like him and a bunch of the other bigger guys to go to the Performance Center.
Yeah.
So for a while, I think he's been training. Then before that, of course, he was training. So I think we see something good. It's kind of cool when you get to see a debut at WrestleMania, like an in-ring debut at Mania. I love that. I know that he fit that statistic I recently saw, like he fits to an elite group of people. So that's kind of cool. Now it would be even more elite if he wins a title at WrestleMania, which could be pretty cool. Anthony, that could be pretty good for future trivia knowledge. So keep that in mind.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
But I'm excited for it because I love New Day and I love Styles, and Omos is just a new talent. So yeah, let's see what it brings. The build, I mean, it's been, how long back are we talking with this build? Like 3 weeks about that?
Yeah, I would say 3 weeks.
Yeah, give or take like 3, 4.
Yeah.
Last night was, Xavier got the victory over AJ, which was shocking, actually, but it made sense. I guess Styles has lost 3 weeks in a row now. Judging by that, I would think that Styles and Omos are going to win. And I think that they have the opportunity to give a guy a title on his WrestleMania debut. I think they're going to do it. New Day has no problem. They win it back down the line. They're like 10 or 11-time champs at this point. So, yeah, I see Styles and Omos taking it, but I do see it being a good match. I see Styles pulling out some big stops for Mania. I see some Kofi spots for sure with Omos in some way. I could see the match being really good. Definitely.
I feel like Omos is going to be someone who, and I guess you could say the same thing for Bad Bunny. Like, they're going to be people that are going to surprise the fans when it comes to wrestling. People aren't going to expect them to be good because, you're having a big guy going up against 2 high flyers, teaming with the high flyer. I guess you can call AJ Styles. But it is like, how does this big guy fit with these 3 wrestlers who are smaller than him? And it's like, I think it's going to at least surprise. Maybe when it comes to like taking bumps, hitting the moves on people. Definitely expect a lot of big boots to Kofi or Xavier, a lot of like big power bombs or something. I don't expect too much, but I feel like he's going to surprise a lot of people.
I want to see his ring gear. That's what I
Me
want to
too.
see.
Me too. I was thinking the
Yeah.
same thing. Like, what is he
Wanna
gonna
see him
wear? He's gonna wear
out of
jeans.
these fancy clothes. Yeah,
He's gonna come out in like a gold singlet.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like insanely rich and nobody knows. Like
Yeah.
it hasn't been explained yet.
He's
I
gonna
wanna
come
know
out in
that.
like all of his gimmicks. Like he's gonna come out as like Big Ninja, as you've seen last
Big
year.
Ninja.
oh yeah, the ninja.
Or like the bodyguard from Raw Underground. We see him.
I
Holy
like how
shit,
since
I
they
forgot
don't
about that.
mention Raw Underground, like they just completely scraped it under like the cloak that they do with most
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
That Shane, it almost looked like, did you see when Shane and him locked eyes a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
it's like they can't mention where I swear the announcer was like, oh, it's almost like they know each other, something like you see the intensity, like, yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, they
like,
do
he
actually.
talked to
They
him
do.
for like 2 months.
Yeah,
He's his
every day.
guard.
Exactly.
Wonder why they're looking at each other.
I wonder where do they know each other from? I don't know.
Shane's looking at him like, hey, don't forget, we need you at 10 o'clock. I'll see you then.
Yeah. Be on time this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I definitely want Omos and AJ Styles to win. It's probably gonna be that type of thing where like, oh, it's a debut, like it's who else would you want to take the titles off of at Mania? The New Day or the Hurt Business? And I guess the reason why they went that route is like, oh, we don't want the Hurt Business to lose at Mania. Might as well give it to the New Day because I'm pretty sure they were going to be the ones that were going to take that loss for them.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why they're going to go that route. And again, it would be cool to see Omos get his title win, his first title.
Well,
Did you hear me? All right.
Yeah,
sorry.
we can hear you.
there we
Yeah, my mic went out. Sorry about that.
Technical difficulties on the Ring Fanatics
Yeah.
podcast.
So yeah, like I feel like it's gonna like might as well have your first wrestling match at Mania and win a title all 3 in 1 kind of thing. So I guess that's
Yeah.
what they're going for. Omos is trying to build him as the next big man. I definitely see him like kind of shifting away at some point from AJ Styles if they win it and lose it.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna be like his own thing, kind of like he used AJ Styles to get big and to get a win, something like that, where they're gonna go for it in the future. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for that.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little skeptical about this match at the beginning.
Yeah.
Just because I thought that we were going to go into WrestleMania with the Hurt Business as the champions. And like my thought process when I was watching the Raw Tag Team title match when the New Day won was that
Yeah.
I see the New Day win the titles and I'm like, damn, what is going on? Why did they just they took the titles off the Hurt Business? I thought they were
Yeah.
like the best stable going right now. And then I hear AJ Styles music and immediately I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
So this is what they're doing.
He's never won
And-
the tag belts before, so it's like might
No,
as
he's
well
never.
give it-
So I don't know if it counts that he would be a Grand Slam champion. I don't know what else he has to win, but that'll definitely help him in his case. But yeah, I mean, once I heard his music, I was like, shit, they're going this route.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely yes. I am looking. We've mentioned there's always that match that it's like you don't expect how good they're going to be in the ring, and until WrestleMania actually happens and they're great in the ring. We saw that with I keep mentioning Ronda Rousey today, but I'll name drop Ronda Rousey once again. That's like the most recent example of that no one knew how good that match was going to be, and then it turned out to be the best match on the card. So I see this match going. It's actually funny, Jonah, that you mentioned that AJ Styles lost these last few matches, because I didn't even realize that that he's lost these last matches. What I think that they're going to go, and I guess the story is that now Omos is going to be the difference maker and the equalizer, so that now there's a chance for them to win. So with that being said, I think the story of the match should be that Kofi and AJ are just taking complete control of the match for the first 3/4 of it almost, and it's just AJ getting beaten down, and then you get that moment where it's like AJ slowly looks up at Omos and we get the slow pan up of how tall this guy is,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
get the tag, and then Omos just destroys the New Day for about 3 to 5 minutes, gets all the big moves in, the big boots, the power bombs. You get a double choke slam, and then AJ is watching this and what have I just unleashed? What the hell is
Right.
this?
Yeah.
And then
That could be a cool route. Yeah.
and then Omos would he does the double choke slam. He just looks at him, puts his hand out to tag him. AJ's like, Okay. He tags him.
Yeah.
Then he gets the cover on both of them. And now we have the new Raw Tag Team Champions. So now your story going forward is that, it kind of makes AJ look weak a little bit. But the fact is that AJ will get beat for, most of the big matches. And then Omos will be that equalizer that comes in and just beats down everyone. Because I think that's also a way to protect Omos, because we know that he's not going to be going, 20-minute matches,
Right.
like how equal we saw Y2 AJ with Chris Jericho and AJ Styles. It's not going to be
How
like
about
that.
too?
Instead, I think it's going to be AJ's going to do most of the match. We get that hot tag. We mentioned hot tags. That'll be a huge hot tag. And I think that WrestleMania is the perfect stage for this to happen, because of how much they're going to have to sell for Omos. I think this is the perfect way to present him. And, this could even lead to maybe breaking away from Omos and AJ Styles later down the line, and maybe having a match between the two of them where AJ Styles just loses to Omos, and we keep building him up. Do we ever put a single title on Omos? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But
Yeah.
for now, I think this could be a way to really put him on the map and build up a new star, as much of a star as you can make in a tag team division.
Yeah.
And to pair him up with Styles, I think this is the perfect match, and the perfect stage is WrestleMania for this match. So Omos and AJ Styles, and I think you can get that cool little dynamic between the two going forward.
And it's like
Definitely can. Yeah.
this is kind of like the thing with these two. It's like we don't know who's the heel in this group in this match. Like you can kind of say AJ Styles, but I feel like to me it's just only AJ Styles. I feel like Omos is kind of like somebody who everyone's behind as well. So I don't know. Like maybe they want people want to see Omos taking the pin at Mania, or getting pinned, either or. Um, to maybe leading to a future match between AJ Styles and Omos. And going back to what you said earlier too, when like, oh, they've, how like if that happens where Omos enters the match and he just starts dominating and like choke slamming everybody and doing all these moves that AJ Styles is unaware of. Like I feel like that has pretty much been the thing, the theme that between AJ Styles and Omos. Kind of like, oh, AJ Styles doesn't really know much about Omos to begin with.
Yeah, that's
Like
a
you
good
see, I
point. I
remember,
didn't even think about that for
like
sure.
I remember there was a segment with Riddle where like Riddle knew his name, but AJ Styles didn't. And you know what I mean? Like that was, I think that was when we first got introduced to his name. It was like, oh, I did
Yeah.
I
not know
think
that was
so.
his name.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I did not know. Like they're not really close. And this is what we've seen with the segments. It's like, oh, he
Yeah.
doesn't know his, like the game show that they did
Yeah, like
last
his
week.
favorite color or anything.
Yeah.
That actually fits really well with the story. I didn't even think about that. Where you see we're drawing parallels here on the Ring
The fantasy
Fanatics.
book here. Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
we're all about here.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I feel like that's what probably gonna be like.
That goes really well with like him not knowing that Omos is going to destroy them in the match. Like I love that. I think
Yeah.
it all connects really well.
And we've seen it too. Like he's basically literally thrown everyone over the barricade that he's basically picked up. He just takes them, just throws them over, and that's it. And so I feel like that's all what we've seen of him. Maybe there's more that AJ Styles and the fans don't know of.
Yeah.
He may be training in the ring and the performance center, doing all these big man things. Because I've heard there's been rumors that a lot of the big men in WWE are training solo, like not solely, but together to become better. Like in their eyes of a big man, what Vince thinks a big man is what they've been trained to do. So maybe we will see some things, some things that we don't know about Omos, or that could possibly play out in this match.
Yeah.
And I'm excited, like we said, like I'm excited to see what AJ Styles thinks of this in the match. Like I wonder what he thinks is going on with Omos when he just enters the match.
And I think it fits the whole theme of WrestleMania, because whenever you pre-book like a WrestleMania, you have to do it more so on moments. Like, because it's always like, they're always trying to find these big moments that they can get on like, ESPN and stuff like that. So, this kind of fits that mold, that, you get the wrestling, 3/4 is a match, but really what you're going to be talking about. And they want something that, I'm sure they want at least something in every match that they want people talking about. And that moment would definitely be not just something that you'd be talking about in terms of the match, but in terms of the whole show. They really want to build off Omos, then, make him like this person that AJ Styles knows nothing about, but, the missing piece of what we don't know Omos about, him being a wrestler, is what's going to be like the final piece to them being a tag team, and then being on the same page of AJ is going to do most of the work, but then Omos is just going to beat the fuck out of the guy and win the match for them.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like maybe what he's capable of, like what he's able to do in the ring, is what AJ Styles needs to become a great tag team. And I feel
Exactly.
like if they win it, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they hold it on for a while.
Yeah,
Like
they
one
should.
great match that I can see them having together. One of them is injured, but Viking Raiders, I could definitely see him having a
Mm,
match with them in the future. Maybe holding it up, the titles up to the point where they come back and go for them,
yeah.
and then have them beat the Omos and AJ Styles after. I don't know. There's a lot of matches that I want to see Omos go up against. So that's a whole other episode
So they
itself.
have
Yeah.
to win. They have to,
Yeah,
that's a whole other
Exactly.
episode.
I got them winning.
Yeah.
I got them winning this match. I mean, I
Absolutely. Yeah,
want to
I'm
see
with
that.
you. I got them
Same.
winning.
Yeah. So next match on this card, this is one I'm personally favored of, and that I really want to see: Seth Rollins versus Cesaro,
Yeah.
in a one-on-one match.
It's gonna be a good
The
match.
king of swings, is that what I call him? The swing king, and the Friday Night Save. I almost said Monday Night Messiah, but he's not on Monday nights anymore. I think he's called the Friday Night Savior or something
The
along those
SmackDown
lines.
savior, I think. They
SmackDown,
want to get
yeah,
that
something like that.
alliteration in. Yeah.
So like yeah, so this is the match I'm looking forward to the most, in my opinion. The favorite one of all. I
Wow.
personally have Seth Rollins winning this. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, Cesaro deserves a WrestleMania match." Yes, but I see Seth Rollins getting the win here to make him look bigger than what he is. Not saying he isn't a big superstar. Obviously, he has a big name already. He's been multi-time WWE champ already. So I think this is kind of like a way for not necessarily to have, you know, this is a way for like the fans to hate Seth even more than what we do already, because he just came back. You know what I mean? He just came back at the Rumble. Why put him in like a feud already? You know what I mean? Like where he's gonna lose. I think this is a perfect opportunity to put him against a great superstar like Cesaro. Continue on showing what Cesaro is capable of. And then having that moment where Seth Rollins wins the match and everyone just hates him right there, because everyone wants Cesaro to win, right? That's
Yeah.
like everyone's like underrated guy in the company that deserves a title. Like he hasn't won many already. What are you guys' thoughts on this match already? Do you want Cesaro to win? Do you think Seth Rollins
I'll
can
swoop
win?
in here to start us off. I don't know on this one. I was expecting like I was actually surprised that you said Seth Rollins, because I was expecting everyone to be like behind Cesaro. And before I like looked at the card, I was on the boat that I was like, I don't really know if Cesaro should win this one. But now that I hear that you want Cesaro to win, I'm kind of like a little more confident that I should say Cesaro should lose. But I don't know. I think the way that I'm looking at it is that WWE has booked this WrestleMania. I've been hearing a lot about them, not booking it that well, but I think that they've booked it smart in each match, because every storyline has been built around something,
Yeah.
right? Like we already talked about Shane versus Braun is Braun versus Brains. We already talked about what else have we? AJ Styles and Omos is built around AJ Styles not really knowing a lot about Omos. This story seems to be built around the swing, because they've mentioned, Seth Rollins keeps talking about how many times Cesaro's been swinging him. Cesaro's been swinging him, backstage, which is a really funny visual. So
Yeah. I
I
agree with
think
that.
this story is built around the Cesaro swing, and they're trying to use that to kind of build up this feud a little more. So I feel like there's only one way that they could pay off a Cesaro swing storyline, and that is to have Cesaro swing him 100 times.
100
And
times.
I'm going to stick by that Cesaro is going to get the win, and he is going to get his Mania moment by swinging Seth Rollins, if not 100 times, then like the crowd will do the thing that it's like, technically he spun him like 100 times, but the crowd just keeps going like 1, 2, 3. That's not technically 100, but we get to 100. It'll only be like,
38. What? 37. 37.
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
37.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna
37.
stop at like 37. That's probably gonna be like
he
the
could do
crazy.
37, but I mean, I did the math, and basically it would only be about like
Did
2
your
or
research,
3.
man.
Yeah, I did my research on this one because I wanted to see how long, because he's done it before in Chikara as Claudio Castagnoli, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That's it.
He did it in there, and the crowd kind of got offbeat a little bit, but it was only about like 2 to 3 minutes. So technically they could go wrestling about like, give, 15, 14, 13 minutes. And then the final 2 minutes would just be that swing, do the neutralizer maybe. And then Cesaro gets the win. So that's kind of how I'm thinking that they'll build up Cesaro.
Getting dizzy thinking about that, man.
To give him 100 swings. If not, then maybe like 50, but it has to be a big number. If they've built this whole story around the swing, then it makes no sense for them to just do like, like a 10 swing kind of thing. And then he wins. Like that would kind of be, and we've seen him swing him like, what was the number? Like 25 times on a SmackDown the other day. And they've been building up like that. And they've been counting the numbers on how many times that he's been doing it. So I feel like it needs to be a big number. I'm going to put it down as 100. But if that happens and I see Cesaro winning, but I also don't see Seth losing, considering we've seen a similar story of like the underdog who hasn't really had their main event moment at last year's Mania with Kevin Owens. So unless we're just going in this constant trend that Seth Rollins gives people WrestleMania moments, then I don't know if they would give him that win again. So I'll lock in 2 predictions, and I know this is cheating, but I really can't make a decision. This is the one match that I cannot decide between. And I'll say Cesaro if he gives him 100 swings, but Seth Rollins if he like gives him a roll up or something, but Cesaro still looks good in the match. Again, I can't predict this match, but I do want to see as many swings as we can get at WrestleMania.
Seth Rollins is definitely going to be dizzy by the end of the match. He's not going to be able to get
sure,
up.
yeah.
Like that I think from that last SmackDown, he like already felt like sick from it, I guess. Who do you got, Jonah, winning this?
Yeah, I got Cesaro for this one for sure. The 100 swings is something that I didn't even think about, but I agree, first of all, with Anthony, that this WrestleMania might not be like, I've seen a lot of different things. It might not be what a lot of people want, but it's not random. Like these things, you're right. They all center around something. They're all hinging on like one clear, like what you just said, the swings or Brain and Braun, and it goes on from there. Like there are so many matches, but all of them mean something. So Cesaro and Rollins, not only does this match mean something, I think this might be Nick, you said this is your favorite match you're looking forward to?
Yeah.
I think that's the same for a lot of people. Like this is either a dark horse for the whole show or just like many people's main reason for even tuning in.
For sure.
So I want to say Cesaro. I see it just being a really, really good wrestling match, either way, it's going to be really well done. Cesaro, like I don't know if I see 100, but like you said, 50, something where he just keeps on swinging him. The longest he's ever done, I'll say that. You know what I mean? The longest that we've ever seen before. What'd you say? It was like 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, for 100 swings, it would be around 2 to 3 minutes. Would be
okay.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Like imagine doing that.
No, it's not crazy.
Yeah,
you can do it.
And you got to figure like
let's be honest.
That is true.
The crowd being like however many people are going to be in there. It's not going to be like an exact number that the crowd are cheering. Like it's going to be a little off. So they could get away with like, maybe 80-ish and that the crowd will just chant a little more. But I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to like 100.
Whoever's there.
Yeah.
They're going to want to participate. It's been too long.
And I can already see like the WWE like putting on the big screen like a number counter.
Yeah.
Like how many times. And that could kind of, that's something that they would do. So I don't think
it's gonna be like 100 straight. I think it's gonna do it in 100.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
He'll do like you said, like a count, and then maybe throughout the match it continues on counting whenever he does it. I don't know.
Oh,
but I think he's gonna do 100,
idea.
like 100 in total. But he's gonna do it a couple of times. It's not like 100 straight. So that's where I could definitely see that happening over 100 straight.
That's a really good point, actually. He could do that. He could stretch that throughout the match.
I feel like the match needs a moment though, and you're right, it is built around the swing. So I think that is what it's going to be. Because I'm thinking like, what does Cesaro or Rollins like gain from this match? And it's not much, unless they have a moment. Like the win would be a moment. Like yes, Cesaro wins a Mania, but like I don't think we would remember Owens and Rollins last year as well if Owens didn't jump off the sign. So
that is true.
There's got to be a moment in there for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be something, a moment, even if it's not that match. It's like,
I think they're at the point
Rollins
where they
Orton, the RKO,
that too. I think they're at the point where they feel that it's now or never with Cesaro. So I think they want to do as much as they can to at least say that they tried to get him over and like, get him in the spot for like a potential Universal Championship match. And if the casual fan sees that, this guy just swung another guy 100 times, then that'll definitely give them a reason to go ahead and check out Friday Night SmackDown and see this and root for this guy to possibly win a world title.
I could definitely see like Seth doing something heelish to kind of like win the match, maybe cheat in a way. Maybe
Yeah,
he
like
brings
a roll
back,
up.
like maybe he brings back Murphy. And
Is Murphy? I think Murphy's in the Honor the Giant Memorial.
I think so. I don't know.
Right?
Oh,
Doesn't
it's
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think he is. Yeah.
So if he's
Still
probably
be
gonna
on
show
there.
up on SmackDown, like do something where he causes, maybe it's gonna be like a heel thing, like maybe people are not gonna expect it to happen, and then all of a sudden, like, then we see Murphy just rejoin Rollins again, then therefore we continue from that.
They've been
Something's probably
hyping
gonna
it up a
happen.
little bit. Murphy's back. He's with Seth
Yeah.
Rollins pretty much. So
Yeah, so I don't
it
know.
would make sense.
A lot of things can happen here. I mean, maybe the storyline isn't the biggest of the night, but it
The
definitely
match
be
is
like the
anticipated
match.
as hell.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah,
it might
the
be
in-ring
one of the
action
matches
makes
of
up
the
for it in
Exactly.
terms of
Right.
anticipation.
Right.
It might be up there in terms of the matches. One of the matches of that night. In my opinion,
for sure.
That's why I'm looking forward to it. 2 matches left. One of the 2 main events. I don't know if it's which one of these matches are main eventing. It's kind of been hinting back and forth. But one of them is the SmackDown Women's Championship, Sasha Banks versus the 2021 Royal Rumble winner, Bianca Belair. This is a match that everyone wants to see. I don't know if you guys are Bianca Belair fans, but I am, and I got her winning.
Yeah.
Definitely seeing her win this match. But one thing I am scared of with this match is I wouldn't say scared. It's like, I mean scared in terms of how the fans would react to it. I wouldn't be mad if Sasha Banks won. I wouldn't be mad if that happens, because as of right now, she's been basically playing the heel in this feud. If she wins, everybody would hate her. Like, I think this is the first day the crowd is back. Everyone wants Bianca Belair to win. The moment Sasha Banks retains, if she does, the crowd will go nuts. I know that for sure. And that's one of the things I feel like they're gonna do in terms of like, oh, the crowd's back, but he is a heel to kind of ruin the day for you guys. Not, you know what I mean? Like a typical heel move. There's definitely gonna be a heel move of some sort.
Yeah.
In here.
Right. I have to say, I think Bianca is definitely gonna win. And I'm very excited for this match, but kind of like going off what you just said there, I think Sasha has really not lost a step since Bianca won the Rumble and claimed that she was going after. Like, Sasha's really strong right now, and it's rare that both the Rumble winner and the champion are both kind of even playing fields going into it. I feel like usually, like, I always think back to what I remember being one of the most dominant Rumble wins going on to a WrestleMania match was Sheamus. Was it 2013 or 2012?
2012, yeah.
2012 when Sheamus won. I just remember watching, and he didn't lose a single match. And I think that was when they had Super Show. So he was on Raw and SmackDown. He must have won like 20 matches leading up to that Mania. Nothing could
they built him
Sheamus.
up very strong. Yeah.
So strong for that year. And then he won the title, in 13
like
seconds. Yeah, so like when I see both of them on even playing field, Sasha and Bianca looking so strong equally, it's interesting to see what they're going to go with, because nobody's really taking a foot off that pedestal right now. Final thoughts. So I say Bianca's going to take it. I think Sasha, I don't think it harms Sasha because they finally got past Sasha can win a belt but can't defend it. Like, they're way past that. Sasha's defended it. She's put on great matches. She's been the highlight of some pay-per-views in my eyes in the past couple months. And I do think Bianca's going to take it. I think it's her time. I think she had a great Rumble win, and I think it's going to be a great match too.
Speaking of, you mentioned Sasha not being able to defend her title, and I agree, they've definitely gone past that. But I saw a stat the other day. Sasha, I don't think Sasha Banks has ever won a match at Mania. Do you think this will be her
She
time?
hasn't. Yeah, she's 0-5.
Oh, that's a terrible record, but I feel that she can turn it around.
Do you think this Saturday will be the night she turns it around, or do you want her to? That's a stake too. Sasha Banks getting her first win at Mania, or Bianca Belair winning her first title.
It's funny because like when you see Sasha Banks, like just like in all of her glory, whenever she comes out, like you never think that she has these like little things wrong with her record, and it's not wrong. She could always make it better, and I guess some of the greats, always have that little thing, poor statistic there that you'd never expect. But like I just saw a statistic. Andre the Giant has like the shortest title reign ever. Is it WWE, like the WWF, WWE?
Yeah, because he sold
something
the $1 Million Man. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like those little things that are always there. But I mean, I think Sasha could definitely turn it around, maybe even it up in the next 6 years, maybe break it if she's go for another 7, 10, whatever. I don't think it's happening this Sunday though. No, or Saturday, my mistake.
What are your thoughts, Anthony? Who do you got winning this match?
So 2 things. One, I normally like don't hate a wrestler. Like there's only a select few that I could say like I genuinely do not like. And there used to only be one, but now there's 2 after these last few months. The one was Cody Rhodes. I genuinely cannot stand Cody Rhodes whatsoever, and that's for another episode, but I don't like Cody Rhodes and his current run with AEW. Number 2, within these last few months, is Sasha Banks. So I just don't understand how someone so bad on the mic is able to be in this spot. She's great in the ring. Like I'll give her that, but she has the type of personality that it's either she's a heel at the top of the card or she shouldn't be at the top of the card. And to put her as a face for so long with the persona that she has had makes no sense to me. More than that, to put her in a marquee match for WrestleMania that many are thinking should be the main event, I just don't understand why, one, you would do face versus face, and 2, have the buildup is a whole nother thing, including like Reginald and Nia Jax and everything. They've kind of picked up in these last few weeks, but at the end of the day, I just don't understand why people would think that this is a main event match. However, point number 2 is that after a lot of consideration, I do think that they're going to put this match on last. So the reason why I think that is because I take into consideration the crowd, and with the fact that they're not doing a pre-show from night 1, they want that first pop to be loud as hell. And as far as the entire card looks right now, the only guy that I could see getting them that type of reaction is Drew. And that's why I think that it makes sense for them to put Drew McIntyre versus Lashley at the top of the card, allow the rest of the show to build up that momentum, and then you put Sasha and Bianca on last to make the history and, have a good match overall. So I think that they're going the route of putting Sasha and Bianca on last. Do I love the idea? No, just because of reasons I already mentioned. But
you mentioned that to me on Instagram Live the other day. Like you said, yeah.
But they have hyped it up a little bit more, taking Nia and Shayna out of the mix and Reginald. But, just as far as what they've been doing, I just don't think that it's a Mania main event worthy match. But I do, with the way that the card is being booked right now, I do see them going on last. With that being said, I think Bianca has to win. I think there's no way around it. I put this on Twitter like this morning that, she is doing all the, media appearances and going on like the Kelly Clarkson show and doing like all this different promotional work, promos for Mania, and Sasha has basically not even been promoting it on her social media account, and she has like millions of followers. So if there's anyone that the WWE should have the trust in to go ahead and really put someone on the map to be their next women's star, it's Bianca Belair. And that would be just a great moment for her and a perfect candidate to go forward and hold that torch going into, the future of SmackDown. And, it's funny that it's actually good that you mentioned that Sasha Banks hasn't won at Mania, because now I wish that they would have played that into the story a little bit more, and maybe they could do that on this Friday. But, maybe they could go with something that Sasha loses again. And then Friday, Sasha's like, you were the better woman. You beat me. I'm now 0-6 at Mania. Congratulations. Goes to shake the hand. Sasha officially turns heel, and now you get the rematch at Backlash or whenever. Do you put the title on Sasha again? Probably not. You let Bianca beat her in the rematch. Then you just move forward with Sasha as a heel.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll go that route. I don't know if they would turn her heel in the main event spot of Mania. I don't think that's something that they would do.
They did that with Shinsuke already. I mean,
that was in the middle of the card.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they would do that as like the final moment. I guess it makes sense if they do, because it's night 1. There's another night to look forward to. But as far as it looks like right now, I would say Bianca and Sasha is going to main event. and Bianca should be getting that win. I don't know what you guys are feeling. If you would rather have Bobby and Drew in the main event, I would, and from just a fan standpoint.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm feeling.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind either or, because they're definitely going to do something where, like you said, where they're going to have a strong start with their strong match to begin it. One of the two nights, if not both of them, probably going to have a strong start to the card. So I wouldn't mind either or, where it's like, oh, one of them starts and the other one finishes, or they both be the last two matches and they go in order. I don't know, based on like the least popular match to the most anticipated one. But I wouldn't mind either or. I mean, they're both really, I think, equally as built up, in my opinion. So it could be arguable to say which one gets the last spot. Um, Speaking of the other match, though, the other one is the WWE Championship match. The Almighty Bobby Lashley taking on Drew McIntyre. This is going to be a heavy hitting match. This is going to be something that, like you said, even if it starts the card or ends it, it's going to be a banger, in my opinion. Heavy hitting. You know, we had the keep forgetting the submission move. Why am I forgetting at the moment? Yeah, the Hurt Lock. Yes, the Hurt Lock versus the Claymore kind of thing. Pretty much, that's also something that this one is focusing on. The Hurt Lock and the Claymore. You know, pretty much all their feuds are based off that. So it's cool to see two different finishers going at it. Who's going to get knocked out first? Who's going to win the title? Another question I have is too, like, who's going to take down Drew McIntyre before Mania? Even though there's no more Raws left before Mania, they never stopped it. You know, they still kind of built it up in a way. Who do you got? If they were given an opportunity to do that with somebody, maybe during the pre-show or before their match, who do you got taking down Drew McIntyre before the match with Lashley? Do you think that's going to happen at all, or do you think it's like
No,
just?
I don't think that's going to happen. Personally, I see Drew making. I think he's gotten through every obstacle they put in front of him, type of thing. Like I think that's what they're trying to build up, and I just saw something that said like Drew's going to reclaim his moment, and I like that, but I almost wish it wasn't against Lashley because I love Lashley as champ, and I feel like it would just be too short. It's like such a they put us in between like this like rock and a hard place where I want Drew to have that moment, and of course he could get it next year also. Like why not? Drew's a big main eventer now. Like I think he's their guy, but
Yeah.
Lashley is also their guy. You know what I mean? Reigns different, but still like these are like the guys who they're focusing all their attention on right now, and you know, Lashley being champ for what would that be? Only how long would that be if Lashley was champ? Like a month, something like that.
Probably.
Yeah, like a month and a half almost. Yeah.
It's just not enough time, you know. It doesn't look good in the record books. It doesn't look good to fans who have a memory of you know manias, which I know there are a lot. And so it like if you're you know to someone talks about Lashley's reign, oh, we only held it for a month and a half. I wanted to be more dominant because Lashley's a dominant competitor. So and he's showing that week in and week out, and I think he's getting better on the mic as well. The promo he just cut on Raw was pretty good with Drew. And with MVP by his side, I don't think he could really fail. He's covered on all cylinders. So I want Lashley to win. I think he's going to win. I feel bad, honestly, because I also want Drew to get that win at Mania in front of people, but I think he could get it next year. You know, I think he could still get it next year, and everyone could look strong in the end.
I know I've said this with other matches in this card, but like I think if there's one match in this card that's going to end in terms of somebody interrupting and interfering, it's definitely this match. And not with
boy.
It's not MVP. I'm thinking Keith Lee.
Oh.
People forget about him now because he hasn't been on in weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like it's kind of like I said, it's kind of been like the story, like, oh, who could take out Drew McIntyre, you know, before the match.
I thought you were gonna say Lesnar. That's what I thought you were.
Oh no, I mean,
I thought
a lot about him. That's
it could be him. It could be him. It could be him.
I'm sad he's not on this Mania. Technically, not on this Mania. If he comes out, my voice is gone. Like that's my guy. So if Lesnar interferes, whatever, that'd be pretty cool. But I don't know I don't even know if Lesnar works into this Mania at all.
But the only reason why I said Keith Lee is because I feel like he's going to be the one to join the Hurt Business, and I feel like this is where they're going to go with it. Like, oh, if someone could take him out at least during it or after, so that he doesn't lose his championship, then that could possibly be like a business deal, where like, oh, if you could take him out at least during it or after, so he won't come after it again, then it could definitely be Keith Lee, and then you have a Keith Lee versus McIntyre feud, and someone else go for the title,
which is a great match.
Yeah,
that
would be a great feud for there in the future. And then maybe you get, you know, a new Hurt Business with Keith Lee and Lashley, maybe more people involved. Who knows? And one other person that I thought of too was Samoa Joe. Like Samoa Joe has been on commentary for months now, almost a year, I guess.
Shame.
So it's like I think it would be cool to just see, Samoa Joe just come out the commentary booth and just attack McIntyre randomly without even, without expecting it. Like a random attack, maybe when the rep is not looking, and he does the clutch move that he does, the submission move he does, because like I said with the Hurt Lock, it's based off submission. Get someone else to do a
Okina?
submission.
Yeah.
Okina clutch, yeah. So it's like you do that, you have him tap out McIntyre, he gets counted out when the rep is not looking. He tags him when the rep's not looking, gets counted out, and loses the match right there. That's how and then you get Samoa Joe in the Hurt Business. You build up a match between McIntyre and Samoa Joe. Also a match we've never really seen before in WWE, for all I know. And that would be a great, type of way to keep Bobby Lashley to retain the championship, but also make McIntyre not look weak when against Bobby Lashley. It makes him still look strong, even though McIntyre lost. It'll still make him strong because he didn't lose clean to Lashley by the Hurt Lock. Who do you got, Anthony? I know you didn't go yet.
So I mean, I have to go with Jonah on this one in terms of like someone taking out Drew, because I know that has been, and it's been a trend in this podcast that we've been saying that like WrestleMania feuds have been built around something, and this is no different. This has been built around Bobby Lashley wanting someone to take out Drew, but I think that aspect of the rivalry has passed, because I think the idea of that was that Bobby wanted to fight someone else other than instead of Drew, and not really want someone to add to the match, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of Bobby Lashley wanting someone to take out Drew if he was just going to insert himself into the match, because now Bobby has to go against two guys, not just one. However, if they are going to go in that route and add someone to the match last minute, then it would have to go on last, and it would have to be Brock Lesnar. I don't really think anyone else has that level of star power just to be slotted in there. You could go with Keith Lee, but then again, I think that they're saving Keith until after Mania. I feel like there's more that you could do with him then than instead of trying to rush something now. And I have heard a lot about people wanting him to be in the Hurt Business, but I think that it's a little tough to throw him in there just because you have Bobby Lashley as your top guy. So then that would mean that Keith Lee is like your second in command. And then that makes you think like, do you really want Keith to be like the second guy?
I mean, look how well they built up Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin from that.
Right, but that's like a tag team.
Yeah. But they still made them higher ups. Like before the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander was like somebody who basically was a jobber at one point.
Right.
Then he became tag team champion.
They are in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal now.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
They are.
They are.
Well, that actually, they are.
But they're back, because they're out of it, so technically they're back to where they were before. But they look at them during their Hurt Business.
But during the Hurt Business, true.
Well, that actually adds to my prediction, because we've already seen the Hurt Business break up, which everyone was tight about, and I was too at the moment. But then I kind of, the wheels were turning as they do, and I realized that the week before the match with Drew McIntyre versus Cedric and Shelton, that the stipulation was that if Cedric and Shelton lost, then the Hurt Business could not be at ringside. But now the Hurt Business is broken up. So technically, the Hurt Business isn't the Hurt Business. So, if anything, and if we were going to have this match at the beginning of the card, then you could go ahead and have Cedric and Shelton not being the Hurt Business, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, go ahead and cost Drew the match, have Lashley win. So that's a cheap way to keep the title on Lashley, but also to go ahead and keep Drew strong in the process, because now he doesn't lose technically at Mania, but then you just go ahead and give him the title maybe at SummerSlam when we get some fans in, because I'm sure they're going to have fans by SummerSlam.
Hopefully,
but I also think that they're going to I agree with Jonah that I think that they're going to keep the title on Lashley, just because, you see whenever they are trying to build someone up that they do a lot to like edit their character or like appearance or stuff. We've seen it with like Keith Lee, and that they changed his theme song and his singlet and stuff to make him more, whatever. A perfect example more recently is Riddle, that they add a scooter They have like the fireworks when he does the flip flops. I don't know if you guys saw when he does the flip flop thing
The
now
birds.
that the birds come
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
which
What
I actually
is
think.
that?
I
What
I don't
actually,
know.
I don't
it's
get
one of
it.
those weird
And then
graphics. I
with
think
Braun Strowman, he does the train sounds when
the
he goes around the
train,
ring.
yeah, it's like these little tweaks that they want to make to
Yeah.
make them more like, marketable or whatever. However, speaking of Riddle, they completely missed the ball on, instead of them being birds, just have them be flip-flops with wings and just have like all
Ah,
multicolored wing flip-flops, at least it's
Yes.
something. But anyways, that's besides the point. But they're doing that with Lashley, that his entrance is completely different now. It's the lightning bolt with the little hype package before he comes out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like with them doing that, they want to make Lashley more marketable.
Okay, yeah.
And they're putting that whole spectacle around him in order to push him forward and be a big thing, and have that title on him. So I think
Yeah.
that gives them a reason to keep the title if they're going forward and wanting to be, have Lashley be this big guy. And I still think that there's a lot of room with the Hurt Business and even the story with Drew and possibly adding Lesnar or Keith Lee into the mix of things. And I think that this is all stuff that you can include on the Raw
Yeah.
after WrestleMania. And so I'm going to go with Lashley to keep the title.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I could definitely. You're always fantasizing here. Joel's not here, and you're fantasizing for
Yeah, I
him.
know.
That's good.
I feel like I'm
You're
taking
re-
over Joel's
Yeah.
spot right now for today in like the fantasy booking. I'm
You're-
surprised I'm not
you're
having
Joel
like the
today.
Miz win
Joel.
50. I'm surprised I'm not having the Miz win 50 times if I'm Joel. But I mean,
yeah. With the great fantasy booking, though, I agree with that, and I definitely have Lashley somehow winning based off something like I said before. This is definitely the match that's gonna have some type of distraction of some sort to have him win. That is the last match. I got about Lashley winning that match too. That's the last match on the card. I guess that could wrap up our night one only of WrestleMania here on the Ring Fanatics podcast. Before we go, I want to say thank you to Jonah and Anthony for coming on to help me do this today. We had a great time, great conversation. Just before we go, Jonah, do you want to shout yourself out before we go? Where people can find you, where they can listen to you.
Always love the self promotion. Yeah, you can find us at Rewind Recap Relive on Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube. All of our interviews are there. Go to at R3Jonah on Twitter. We're very active there as well. And new episodes every Thursday. We got Legends, Rising Stars, everything you could look for, and collaborations. I recently told a friend I don't usually host the collaborations, but I go on other people's channels and I do them there and I post them. So you can see a bunch of people there. For sure. And we have a good time at WrestleMania around the corner. We got some great guests, giveaways, everything. Check us out. Rewind, Recap, Relive. And Nick, thank you so much. I had a great time. Cannot wait for night two.
No problem. And I'll definitely leave the link to your YouTube channel in the description of this video. And Anthony, where can people find the Titantron podcast?
Yes. I'll do my self promotion, then I'll give a little news pertaining to this group in after that. But however, I will say that the Titantron can be found as well on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere podcasts can be found: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public. If you use your podcast on there, we are on Teespring. Merch is always available at prices you will want to turn your attention to. I always say that we are the podcast that gets you your information and gets you the hell out of here. We just posted an episode that was 10 minutes for a podcast, and it gets you all this information in less than you can even think of. So, if you want a short podcast to get you everything that you need to know about wrestling in a short time span, then we are the podcast to listen to, as well as the Ring Fanatics and Rewind, Recap, Relive. We're all amazing podcasters, and we do collaborations like these, and they're amazing. And I'm always happy to do them, which is why I'm happy to announce some more news pertaining to this group right here, as well as Joel. And I'm sure you realize, the viewers at home, that we have only talked about night one matches for WrestleMania 37. However, you're probably thinking, what are we doing for night two? We have 7 more matches that we got to talk about. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you go down to the links in Nick's bio, you will find not bio, description. You will find the link to the Titantron's YouTube page. And by the time that you're done listening to this episode, you will see on the Titantron that we have already posted night 2 of WrestleMania with the same group plus the great Joel. So, we're going to be talking all about those matches. I'm looking forward to doing so and hosting you guys over on the Titantron podcast. It'll be a great way to collaborate, and I am looking forward to talking about those great matches because, not to brag, Nick, but I think I got the better end of the stick in terms of the WrestleMania matches.
Yeah, you did. I'll be honest.
But
That may be true. Yeah.
but hey, I'm looking forward to it. And viewers, if you're listening, make sure to go ahead and swing on over to the Titantron podcast. Turn your attention to night 2 of WrestleMania 37.
Definitely. And like I said, with him, also, I'll leave the link to his description to the YouTube channel of the Titantron podcast. So make sure you check out that and the night 2 predictions that he will have up on his channel. And once again, thank you guys for coming on. This has been episode number 30 of the Ring Fanatics Podcast, night 1 of WrestleMania predictions. I'm Nick, joined with Jonah and Anthony, and see you guys next time.
Yeah.